Hello and welcome to Single Parent Success Stories. Today's guest is Donna Shehovsov, and I'm excited to have her join us. Donna is a body resonance healer, spiritual coach, and a fairy. She guides coaches and teaches individuals to heal personal traumas and imprints from their human experiences that are keeping them from becoming their full potential. Welcome, Donna. It is a pleasure to have you.
And it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Irina.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's get into this.
So please share with us, who is Donna and how did you arrive at this amazing profession, body resonance healer?
Perfect. So I am Donna Shehovsov. I am, like Irina said, I'm a body resonance healer. So who am I? Well, we all continue to explore that journey is the greatest way to look at it so that we don't look at it that we're ever done. We are this expression of who we are. As a body resonance healer, this sort of, we'll talk a little bit about my journey, but what I do is I really work with clients and individuals to open up their channels of receptivity. Our bodies are our greatest vessel. We only get one body, and I ultimately help you to open up so that you can receive and get the vibrations and the frequencies moving within you that are really going to serve you. So I sort of work in two lenses. One with clients, there's a very intimate type of session that we would hold to open those channels because it's vibration and energy and frequencies. It's something I tap into. We're all that, right? We're all vibration, which you've spoken a lot of on your podcast and energy healers. And I know you have those types of professionals on your podcast. What happens is we were born of vibration. We are it. And yet if you're still sort of unsure of all of that, we were born of vibration. I've been, and this fairy part of me, I'm very tapped into pulling and picking vibrations and then working with my own guides, your guides, and how do we open the body, clear out what you don't need, and drop in what you do need for who you are now, right? So the who I am is just like you, becoming greater and greater, right? Which is ultimately what it's all about. We're here to evolve, right? And I know that can be a scary thing for people, but yeah, so that's part of the one-on-one. And then as a true working with individuals, it's to go through that. You know what? Get in your body. That's where the juice happens. That's where we are alive. This is where this igniting this flame within us happens. So that's really the work that I do, and mostly with women, more and more because of my own healing journey, and I just can resonate with that quite well. So yeah. Does that help? I mean, I know we're going to talk a lot about this. So
yeah. So please share your journey. You know, how did you discover body resonance?
Right. So I was on an interesting, we all have sort of these wake up calls in life, and mine was with a chronic illness called endometriosis. So for those who don't know or have any form of reproductive health issues, mine was pretty intense. My body was basically attacking me, and my reproductive organs and cysts and fibroids, and not to get into all of that, other than to really help anybody that listens to this to understand that 200 million women are living with reproductive health issues, one called endometriosis, which is an incurable disease, and yet I cured it. I got off the path of the label and of conventional medicine to really go down, I need to figure me out. My intuition told me become whole. And I had no idea exactly what that meant. And I just said, okay, that's it. I'm done with the specialists. I'm done with the doctors. I didn't want surgery. I couldn't do it anymore. So I really decided the only person that knows me is going to have to figure out me. I'm the one that lives with me. And that really meant I needed to go into my body, because that came up I got divorced. That's when the divorce really hit. I mean, I was already experiencing all of that, but that's when oh my God, things ignited. The fire inside was not a nice fire, right? That's the attack that happens. And truly, it just started this journey of what alternatives do I have? Where can I go? And what can I do? So I honed in on it, and I went on that path that there is no roadmap, that we all have to discover at some point, and went through a very beautiful process of coping, managing, right? We all go through that period as well, where it's like, okay, I've got this, I've got it nailed in. I know I still have that control over my body and of what's happening because I needed to get into my body. And that happened. So this body resonance comes from, I got into the body. So I needed to work with the wisdom that's in there from the cellular memory, from the blood that wasn't pumping, that was clotting, that was doing all the craziness, the heat and the fire that was living inside of me. And the cold, like I went through ice, through everything. And yeah, so it caused that. I figured out how to manage it and be like, sort of brace for those. Okay, we've got a cycle, right? I brace for it. I'm ready for it, right? That's not living. So I had one heck of a relapse when my father died. And it came back with, I would say, a vengeance. He died very suddenly. And that's when it really got me on even a deeper path to look at my relationship with myself, look at the relationship I was having with other people, the world around me, and what I was so disconnected from. And I think, if anything, of all the messages in anything that exists in the world, it's, what is this relationship with ourselves? And certainly, as you know, your audience and someone who's been divorced, we hold so much trauma in that alone. And then it's our mind, our emotions, our energy field. We are this triad that a lot of people don't know how to navigate. And so my work with body resonance takes on this form of, okay, our body has this intrinsic capacity to heal itself when we understand how that is designed to work, how we can ignite this flame, activate that fire within us that is the glowing fire versus the forceful fire, right? It's the powerful fire. And when we do that, we are able to heal our bodies. We want to get in there, and then that turns on everything, right? Anything that's happening. So there's pains that happen. Well, that's just energy trapped somewhere else that we've locked, something else in the body that's missing out on that energy. So we need to get this whole vessel clear and unscrambled and balanced. So the work that we do is around all 10 energy systems, because there are 10. I really work with the body, right? We are nature. We are her, she's us. Whether you understand that or not, that's part of what I teach and walk people through. But we really have that full capacity like nature. It's in harmony. It's going through this moments of chaos on one side of the planet, and it's brilliant over here. Same things going on in our bodies. When we can honor that and understand us and get to our natural rhythm and our essence, magic happens. Not just the healing, but life, right? We're here to live. So yeah.
Yes.
So I know I kind of went this big swoop, but yeah, that's how it happened, right?
And I do see you're very lively and you're like emotional and excited, and I love it. And I think, you know, we are here to live and live truly to that meaning of the word, really experience the living, not just ebbing and flowing, but really being present here and enjoying every moment. Yeah, and exactly. Our bodies are so intelligent. As you said, we can heal ourselves, and oftentimes we trust, and I'm not saying doctors are bad, but we would rather trust somebody else than listen to our own inner wisdom.
And that comes from, we've been taught that we live in a linear world. We have governments, we have politics, we have religion, we have culture, everything telling us. All of that becomes these personalities that we live, and these behaviors, and then these stories and these perceptions that we have. And until we can get to the core and tune in more and more to our intuition, into our body, right? So I work with the vibrations and the senses, right? We have those 5 senses that we're all tuned to because we experience life, right? You know, I was talking to people this morning about, you know, just food, right? We have all of our senses activate in a piece of food, from the texture, the taste, the smell, the color, all of it. What happens is when we don't activate the senses and all of them, which is that intuitive self, that soul self, right? This is why when we're going through divorce or something else, right? Or in pain, because a lot of the people that I work with, it has some form of pain, chronic pain or illnesses like I experienced, or you know what, they're just numb, they're empty, they're numb to life because they just don't have answers. They want an answer when they've been asking for lots of answers. They haven't learned how to step through and take the action from the answers and the wisdom that they already have, because they're afraid. We've been conditioned as well to fear. And this whole world of spiritual coaching even is part of that, a big part of it, which is your spirit is in there, right? Your spirit is your life force. It's the essence that flows through you, right? Your soul is God. That's the thing that wants to keep living. Right. So it's how do we put this emotion that we're here to live and that vibrates, right? Everything vibrates. Where are we in alignment with that vibration of who we are? So it's us shutting out the noises, and definitely as single parents, because even with clients of ours and mine, they don't, right? They often parents, it's like, oh my God, it's only me. How can I juggle this? My work, my kids, the pressures, all the stuff. And then you might have parents that are sick, you have siblings, you don't have relationships that are great here. All this stuff becomes noise. And it's like, hold on, when mama, papa, dad, mom, whoever, when you work on yourself, it happens quickly, right? You're broadcasting, right? We are so in this space of needing to understand, and I say needing, there's not a lot of needs we have really in life, but the need to understand that we are energy, and that we're the ones broadcasting all the time. That's coming back to us, and that's a beautiful thing. Whether you want to call it a negative thing or it's just a lesson, it's to say, what did you squish inside of you? What did you perceive? What did that little you at one point, or teenage you, or married person who's like, jeez, that's not the life I wanted to live. I never even planned for that. Well, that's part of it. We didn't know how to communicate. We're trying to heal what our parents didn't teach us. And we don't even know what that is exactly until you learn, right? Until people like you, me, we've been doing the work and healing ourselves so that we're able to then help others through that process, right? To get them on the path, and truly on the path of the deep work of what do you want, right?
Right.
What do you want? Yeah. So I think people want health and they want happy, right? Like the intrinsic part of what we do in our practice at Equilibrium and all of our practices is around health and happy, right? Because our health means you're happy. You've got that sticky smile that it just comes out, it doesn't matter. Right? Because that's the life, that's the what's oozing through you. And whether that's in times of chaos and there's challenges, right? Just us getting to do this today there was a minor challenge. You all don't see it on the other side, but it's us being able to, okay, how do we turn that around, right? So we have that capacity when we turn into our intuition, when we're so present in here, that it's like, okay, we'll find a solution. And if it's not today, well, we would have, rescheduled, right? And yeah, it's not letting that life take over. It's like letting this life in. Yeah.
Right. What makes you happy?
Oh my God. Well, first of all, happy is a state of being, right?
Yes.
That's the bigger part, right? A lot of people want to think happy is this emotion. Well, actually, it's a state of being. So what makes me happy? Me. First and foremost, I mean, there's lots of things, but I think that's the big thing that I want people to understand. You make you happy, right? You living the life that you want, you learning how to love you a little bit more every day, right? But truly, I mean, nature, I am so connected to nature. That's the fairy in me. I speak to nature. I mean, I go to a tree, it's talking to me, and I can teach people how to do that. And yet there's something a little deeper and more intrinsic with me, because it is part of the path that I'm on from the spiritual side, which is I can talk to. So if I'm out and I see a flower, I see a pet, I see a whatever, I'm like, I can pick energies and know what I need, right? Or pick and give it to you or whatever. Like there's this that I'm able to do that I didn't understand it as it. I've always had it. Never understood it was actually this gift of mine, right? Right? We do these things, right? Where other people think you're crazy because you're talking to something out there. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm really talking. I'm just doing what has to make me feel good, right? But happy comes in all forms. I mean, creative, right? Like creatively, we need to do things. Play is the biggest thing. I am your child. So those who have divorced parents who have children, I am that. I want adults to child up. How do I explain that? I want you to play. We need to play. We need to laugh, right?
Yes.
Anything. If you need to learn how to laugh, we can teach you that too. There's ways, right?
Yeah.
It's that like happy just comes from this desire to want to, and this desire of the awe of actual life, right? So if that helps, there's lots of happy in me.
That's amazing. What makes you smile?
Yeah, well, that comes naturally too.
Okay.
I think it's what makes me smile though. You know what? Honestly, I love kids and I love old people. And I just love people in general. Like, because I can look at anyone, and I think that's that fairy part on another side. It's like I look at the world like, oh my God, I just want to touch you, right? Like the fact that we have a body, right? For
Right.
people that are spiritual and who have and get what I'm talking about, which I know you do, it's like, oh my God, we have a body. This is awesome, right? We get to play in this world. It's awesome. But it's when I look at kids, because I can just look and I can light them up. I don't care. You could be the grumpiest person in the world. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. A few minutes with me. And I'm like, I'll get you to smile. And even if you don't want to, yeah, you will. Right. Because so smiling it's this natural thing, even for people that when you look at language barriers, because I worked before this part of my life, I was a chef for many years. I was a chef and event planner, and then I went into holistic chefing. And what happened was many of my staff, even there was language barriers, right? I mean, I love the fact that we live in a diverse culture. And when I travel, it's like, I don't understand what you're saying, but that's universal, right? So, right? Open yourself up to curiosity. Curiosity brings the smile, right? Because it brings that to us. There's this space where we're taught, and there's culturally things where it's like, don't smile, right? We're not supposed to smile. Even in our work environments. I used to have a boss that he would get mad at the staff. That's like, don't smile when you're working. You're not going to get anything done. And I'm like, oh my God, who are you? I'm like, when we're happy, we get way more done.
Yeah.
Because that's a natural essence. Look at kids, right? They're happy. Yeah, they're going to scream, and yeah, they need to be fed, and yeah, whatever. They stub their toe, or they're picking up on mama's energy or dad's energy. But I'm like, we're intrinsically happy. So smile. It's God. And as a practice, go in the mirror and do it. That's deep work though, until you get to a point, because I needed to do that. That wasn't easy, right? It causes us to tear. It causes us to well. It causes us to feel how much we have disconnected from ourselves, right? That inner child, it still lives in there, right? And we want to wrap ourselves in it. We want to just be that kid again and it's okay, right? We're going to find our way through it. There's something way bigger than we know anything about. So if you're not sure about that, that's also kind of what we teach, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What is your number one personal superpower?
Personal superpower? I have a superpower. I can change weather patterns. I don't know if that's what you meant. Is that what you meant? I'm not sure if people would understand that. Is that what you meant?
No, just about you. What do you think is your personal superpower?
You know, I think the fact that I can live this effervescence, and I know how to turn it around so quickly, right? It's us, because I want that. I intend for it. I put that as a practice. So that's something I do. And I literally, it's like, we should all be doing it. Right.
Right.
And right. I think it's also learning to express me more authentically, right? Because that's another piece, that creative self-expression. It's like, okay, this is who I am now, right? Love it, leave it, whatever. It's me learning me. You don't have to learn me. You learn you. I want to learn things from you, because if I can put them into practice and they work for me, I want to do those too, right? So yeah.
Yeah. What is the smallest thing you've done that had the biggest impact in your life so far?
Oh my goodness. Wow, that's a good question. What's the smallest thing I've done that had the biggest impact? Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know how to answer that.
It could be something inconsequential, but looking back, you would realize that.
The smallest thing. I might have to come back to that one. Can you ask me another one? I'm going to let that one percolate over here. Not that I want the right answer. It's really nothing's coming to me. What's the smallest thing I've done? And you know what? It's so funny, because we do such tiny things, and they have such, that's a good one. I don't know. Because I look at things such in tiny, micro, whatever, and can't even think of anything right now. Yeah. Sorry. God, you stumped me on that. It's okay.
What, as a kid, what did you want it to be when you grow up?
You know what? Funny. The first thing I would tell anyone is an archaeologist,
Okay.
right? Always wanted to, right? And dust. Well, then when I realized that it took forever, I'm like, oh my God, I just want to get in there and get the thing out. You want to sit there and dust? It could take these people years. Then I really realized, oh my God, my entire life is an archaeological dig, right? Then I'm like, I am doing that, right? It's just, I used to think I wanted to get in there with little brushes and whatever. Oh my God, that's going to take you that long? I'm like, just give me a shovel. Now, that was when I was a kid. I'm sure there were things, but that's probably the first thing. And then it went into, what am I really going to do? Right. Yeah. Yeah. I studied hospitality and tourism because I thought people who were on holidays were happy. I thought that's where happy lived. When you're on holidays, that's when you were happy. Because my family, that's when we ultimately were the happiest. Right. And little did I know, yeah, that's not where happy lives. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Yes, it's a beautiful place to be on vacation and travel and all of that, but that's not truly where happy lives, right? So yeah.
Yeah, because we oftentimes think that, happy is somewhere outside of us. Well, it's always on the inside.
It's such an inside job that, God, we all want to do that. Yeah, there's going to be times where it takes to get over that hump. But then it's like, that's just the spiral of life. You're going to have another hump. We have all these compartments, I think, and not to take you off to the questions, but I think one of the big things that I learned and had to learn in this healing process was to stop working in a silo, right? Because even my illness, it was a silo. I was like, I kept going deeper and deeper of what's the problem and finding all these things that were the problem, right? Doing that, I disregard, like I forgot about all the other parts of my life. Right? So we forget that life, there's this big wheel of life, you want to call it. I don't care if you just chunk it into 8 or 12 boxes because then we're talking our family, our relationships, our career, our finances, right? These things. But it was like everything was looking at this problem of the silo effect. And when we get trapped in that, so it's that it was then it was like, okay, hold on. That's only one piece of this whole of me, right? So that happy is like, I got to get into all those spots inside of me. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you call it? Give us one example. How would you ignite your inner flame to be more alive through body resonance?
One thing that you can do, probably the first thing that anybody can really do to actually ignite that, depending where you are. I'm going to go from you haven't done anything, right? Let's start there. If you haven't done anything, the number one for anybody to even ignite anything and to truly get there is you've got to flush some stress out of the body. That's going to be the first thing, because that stress is what's causing us to not be able to truly ignite it, right?
Right.
The second thing, in a very simplistic form, is turn out the lights, look only at a candle, like soften your body. We are so on this media, on, out, and it's like, oh my God, soften into your body. And you like allow it to rest. We don't know how to do that either. We want to wait for sleep time, or we can't take a rest during, when it's like, hold on, right? And I don't mean just close it off. I mean just soften it. The other thing, I mean, there's so many things, but the power of these hands, because it's in our hands, right? Our power is in our hands. When we can touch our own self in some form, to start that, to let ourselves know that we're here to nurture us, we got you, right? And I think for single parents especially, it doesn't matter the age of your child. Remember when your child is like, they needed to be held in some form. That helped to soften the nervous system. We need to do that for ourselves. Our mother, who might be in their 70s, 80s, they're not the one holding us anymore. Right? We need to at some point hold that, and your body knows, your body wisdom knows. It's just, it doesn't happen once, because if you've never done it, it doesn't remember your touch. It needs to get you to know your touch, right? So our bodies are this, don't be ashamed of it. Because that's where it lies. It lies in shame and guilt. Good God, you're talking to a woman who was ill in that department. That's a whole, right? Like, we're talking, this is stuff that's big. Our sensuality, just the senses, let alone the sensuality of sensuality, and then sexuality, that is so suppressed, and that is so not who we are, right? We want to wake up this body so that that flame of everything ignites. Yeah.
Totally.
A big topic what I do, but this is the vessel. This is this temple, right?
Right.
So what I do is big work, and yet so simple when you get into it, but I live it every day, right? So it's, yeah.
So what are some of your daily practices?
Well, I don't turn the phone on until I've done some meditation. I do a daily energy routine. I do a walk out in nature. I very much do connect with nature and get my juices flowing. I have my own spirit guides that I speak with before I ever do before I even turn on the phone. Right.
Right.
Yeah. So I think there's probably a good hour, an hour and a half before I even turn on the phone. That is just me. And I mean, I get up at 4:45 in the morning kind of thing before I, get into it. And I think that's key too, finding because we want to find the work that I do is helping you get into your natural rhythm and your essence. And a rhythm comes from what do you want your life to look like? How do you want to feel in that? You need to carve out the time. So yeah, I do a lot of that before I get anything started. And then curiously listen to something that I don't even know about, right?
Right. I
Let's
love
be
it.
curious. That's the kid part in us, wants to be curious. We adults think we know things, right? We know them because we can do it at work, and we know things because we're teaching the kids stuff, and we know things because we, do XYZ as these habits that we've just been forming versus, but you don't know anything. First of all, there's almost 8 billion people out there. How can you possibly? Everybody's got a different version, right? Unless you're traveling the world and doing something different every day. But those people have curiosity. They understand what it is, right? Yeah. Be curious. Be curious.
I totally resonate with you because I have my own also morning routine, and waking up and doing meditation and connecting with nature. I love watching sunrises. I love being present when the day is being born, and you get to consume all that beautiful, the ocean and the sand beneath your feet, and how you experience the day.
I don't have the ocean, so you do. You do. Where are you? Where are you?
I do. I'm on Long Island.
Oh yeah, you're Long Island. That's right. What am I thinking? Yeah, you've got that. That's right. You're right in there. That's awesome.
And it's so incredible. It's how you start your day. It's so important, not to start with the phone because we get too reactive. How do we want to approach the day? How do we want to set the intention and be a creator in our life? Like, how do we want this day to feel? So totally resonate with you. And I think it's awesome. What are some of the, if you ever hit like a stress or something during the day, do you have anything that you do to get yourself out of it?
Oh, yeah. Well, the first thing is stress. So because I have stress routines, right? But I think the thing is we have our frontal lobes is where everything happens. So even just doing this, putting our hands like this on our body and breathing, just do that. And just think of whatever the crap is, just think about it, let it go there. And once it's gone, it should be gone, at least gone enough that you can, right? Except there's also, I have wands, I have things, I have pieces, I have a dance, something. I know how to shake it up. I'm someone that needs to do a bit of physical to move some of that energy. Again, once you learn your own energy pattern, that's part of the body too, right? So depending what it is, depending what the situation is, the stress might mean, hold on, I really do need to rest, versus this is stress that's running too high. I need to burn it off. So that's part of the what is it? What tool do you go to? So, and the work that we do is find different tools so that because when you only latch onto the same thing, you're just recreating a new habit that isn't getting you necessarily to a space of evolving more. Right. So have the tools, and yes, find what works. It's just, sometimes it's like, oh my God, you know what? It's the computer. It's not me. I need to walk away. I'm sorry. It's Facebook. It's Zuckerberg. It's whoever you want to talk to. It's not me. I'm getting out of here. Right. Doesn't matter what it is. Right? You got to find what the thing is, burn it off somehow, scream it out. I'm not a big, right. Like you got to use your emotions, right? You got to feel it out too. Right. It's funny because I'm not a big, angry, whatever. I'm learning to do that more. I knew how to do it on the inside. And I think because of all the work that I've done, I probably did so much of it before that it's like, oh, it doesn't come up. But being human means we need to. So whatever that is, right?
Right.
Just don't shame it on you. Get it out there, right? Take it outside. Like literally it's that take it outside or punch the pillow. But I suggest take it outside even more, because let nature take it away. in some form. But then you still have to go back to what's really at the root of all that.
Right. Yeah.
Just so we're very clear, whoever's listening to this, it's not like, oh yeah, we flicked it off into nature, it's gone. No, that's not really how it works. We have other tools for that, right?
Yeah. And it's also important to switch activities. Let's say if you're doing something for long periods of time, it's important to switch your brain off and do something, I don't know, run around or dance, or I love singing. That's my 10-minute stress release.
Exactly.
10 minutes of joy.
And it's finding those tools, because I'm someone that I work so much better, and not every day, but I way better when I hour block things, right?
Right.
Like, what can I get done in that hour? Not to push through, but I'm like, okay, this is something that I want to focus in. And then after that hour, then exactly, doesn't matter. If you're somebody that's like, how do I carve in my workout time, right? As a, for instance, right? I don't care if you're at work in a physical office. You know what? When you go to the bathroom, do 5 jumping jacks in the stall. I don't care. Find something, right? Because it doesn't matter. We think it's so weird. And it's like, oh my God, if you only knew how weird they were. And if you even want to call it weird, because it's not weird. What works for you?
Yes.
We got to do what's right for our body, right? Yeah.
Right. What is exciting in your life right now? Any new project you're working on?
I have a new program coming up. Exactly. I have a new program that's called Becoming Whole. And it truly is around working and getting into your body in a different way. So again, my intuition had told me become whole. I shared earlier, I didn't know what the path was going to be. I just delved into alternative. I said, okay, there's a place for conventional. It's not for me. So I never knew then that it's like, okay, I really need to turn that concept, and this is years later now, turn it into something around becoming whole. How do you embrace your body's wisdom? And how do you do this in a way that does ignite that flame, but really brings you to your core essence, right? So beautiful program. I will love if we can share that and share that with I'm going to say women for right now, and we are going to look at, it's about you. It's about what you need. I've been through so much. And I think the key also is we learn from each other, right? No teacher isn't a student. To truly do this work, you're going to resonate something in me. I'm going to echo something, right? So but there's definitely space there. I mean, I work with numerology, I work with astrology, I work with food, I work with all life, right? Like truly life. So it's how do we bring all that? How do we go into these spaces of, you know what, finding what is the resonance and the vibration that's going on in me, right? Around me. How do I anchor in and really understand that? So I've got processes around all of that to really work with people through. I also am working on I don't know if this is, but for next year, and it started already, is a global summit around reproductive health, right? And honing in on endometriosis is one of the pieces, because again, we all have healing journeys wherever you are. It doesn't matter where someone is. And I think that's the bigger piece for people to walk away with. You could be in pain. You could have had surgeries. You could be like, this is never possible. It is. If you think it is and you want it to be, there's something better than where you're at. Go there, because health means something different for everyone. Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. What is one advice you can share for single parents?
Know that it's you that you have to look after the first. Actually, you might have children, but really looking after you first is going to resonate out with them. Finding some time, truly carving out, intending time for you. It's not what we're used to. And yet once you get on that, so if you have little ones, I mean, the individuals that are single parents with us, once they get on, and even the ones that have co-parenting, that's fine. When you start doing some of the practices, get them to do it with you. We want our children to be not living the lives that we're living. Well, we need to show them the great stuff that we've been doing, but that means mom, dad, you got to do the work, right? Yeah. Because they're bringing you lessons, and right, that's the other thing. They're bringing lessons for the new world. Each generation does. So honor where you are, right, and play a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's awesome advice.
A lot. Play a lot.
Yeah, help the children, and also remember that you are a child on the inside, and let your child play.
Yes, and it's that, and the power of laughter right? Laughter and play, right? So the play allows us to integrate. It allows us to forget. It turns the mind off, right? So whatever that form of play, creativity is, it shuts the mind off. That's what we need, right? The laughter is that high vibration that it's like, oh my God, when I can let that zoom through my body and my field and we pick up on someone else's laughter, that's just increasing and clearing the field, clearing us, giving us new space, right?
Right, totally. Yeah, I love it. And I think also smiling and laughter, you can increase your life. The more you smile, the longer you live.
Discover what you want. I mean, that's its own practice that we take people through, but we didn't know that we could have what we really want because we don't know how to go through that process. And yet, if you don't know what it is, you actually aren't going to get there. Because once you start on this path, and depending wherever you are, and just whether that's right, because we're all spiritual, right? We're all spiritual beings, right? It's just, if you don't know what it is, you don't even start to see the beautiful and amazing things you already have in your life, right? There's so much abundance around us that we already have. There's so many skills, gifts, things that are already within us. It's just, how do we turn all this into, and then help it move us forward to where we're really headed? So have something so that there's a direction you're moving towards. Otherwise we stay tiny. We stay here, right? We stay in the problem.
Yeah. Awesome. Is there anything I haven't asked you that you want to share?
Oh, wow. I think, you asked me about the program. So my Becoming Whole is, there's also a program that we teach for people that if you are someone that is really struggling, I think there's a deep struggle that a lot of people are having right now. And if you are someone that really needs to do a different form of human development to understand that, we teach and guide my colleague more. I'm a part of the program, but really around truly the elementals of healing and growth. And how do you set a new foundation, right? Because if you're not at a space to even know what you want and just you're so stuck and confused, it's a beautiful, beautiful program that she works on and I get to work in and work with our clients on, because we're so much and we need community, right? And I think that's the other big thing. The programs that I do, we do one-on-one. We also do a lot of healing groups, program groups, so that you're together, you're in a community. You need people. Don't be a single parent alone. I think that's the other thing. Don't do anything alone.
Yes.
We have to ask. We don't know how to ask. We're hiding from ourselves, and that's okay. My God, it's okay. You're held when you find the people that resonate with you, allow them to hold you in sacred space. I think that's the beauty of this, right? Allow them to help you through that, because you're actually helping them too, right? Yeah. We're all here to figure out and shine our light in some way.
Yeah. If people would like to connect with you, where would they go?
Yeah. Well, they would go to our business is called Equilibrium. I would spell that, so maybe we can link it, but it's spelled EQUALLIBRIUM.ca. We're a Canadian company, a private practice, health and wellness. We do meditation, mindfulness, energy healing, energy work. But equilibrium.ca has everything. And then you can go to our blog, you can find out about us, all of that. We're on social channels. My own name is Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you're at. But truly, you can link out and find me. I'm the only Donna Hennifer that exists. So that's kind of cool. Really, you really hone into your own self, but right. So that's great. You can find me that way too. There's no aliases out there that I know of. There's just, you'll know if it's me or not. Anyway, I kind of resound. It's all good. I want you all to get into that essence and let it be, right? I think the other thing too, I know, because I know that you and I have a great resonance. There's something though, that, to be clear, just because we're this, right? I believe it is in all of us. However, I want everyone that's listening to understand this effervescence or this level of joy or happiness, whatever, may not be your natural state yet. Honor wherever you are, right? Honor if that's, you know what, you have a very quieter demeanor than I would. That's okay. We need all of it. It's all exists. It's just find those essence, right? Those sparks of, like we spoke of, the joy, the laughter, whatever that is for you, right? My nature is intrinsically this, right?
Right.
Yeah. So find you, be you. That's the best part of all of it. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much
Oh,
for
awesome.
coming
Thank
on and sharing your wisdom.
Yeah. So if there's any, if there are single parents that need to chat just about something, I don't have kids. I shared that. That was its own journey for me, and honoring that as well. Right. So, and keeping it open that you never know what the universe really does, because it's not like I don't have my faculties. It's just, that's not been the path that I was on. So yeah. And it's understanding, just because conventional medicine tells you something, oh, we are more powerful than that, right? We literally are. There are people, and I think this is the other thing, there are people that are out there that are having children. So if infertility or children, because not everyone is necessarily has children, right? Like myself, we don't know. The other big thing is biologically. So if you want to look at science, because I think that's the other thing, the fringe sciences, if you want to call it that, be curious about what's really going on, right? Not the old linear way, because biologically we can live to 120 years old. Ask yourself that. What am I doing for the next, I don't know, is that 50, 70, 80 years, right? 40 years? What are you doing? Because if you're not really happy and authentically in this body, in this vessel, doing what you love, some passion, you want to find that so that you can live that, because it's so possible. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It was
Thank
a
you
pleasure to have you.
Oh, so good to be here. I appreciate it so much. And to everyone out there, thank you for your time.